Hi, this is Bunny, and I'm actually recording during the daytime at the moment. And someone is using a saw outside, but hopefully I can maybe fix the audio when I'm editing this. I'm not sure. I really need to get one of those fancy external mics, because microphones, even in the best cameras, even in a phone, can be pretty shitty. So they tend to pick up everything. Anyway, this vlog is about, as you can guess from the title, anxiety. And it's a response to my husband's response about my anxiety vlog. This video is for anybody and everybody. It's obviously not private because it's on YouTube and it's not in private mode or anything. So I'll be talking about a few things like anticipatory anxiety and working on yourself. And I'd like to say to Senpai that during the filming of the video, he wasn't sure if he would be able to go out, but he did it. Physically, when he came back, he paid for it afterwards, but as he said, it was totally worth it to see his daughter. I'm not going to say her name. I don't want to accidentally say her name so I don't have to edit it out. And I enjoyed the break from that as well, and I got to meet a lot more people than I typically do, and I think I did really okay, I guess. So, about anticipatory anxiety, that is something that I deal with. Like, sometimes the anticipation of leaving the house is worse than being outside of the house. And there are times when I get really flustered when I am outside of the house, but I feel like anticipatory anxiety is like a brick wall that you can't go through a lot of the times. And because of anticipatory anxiety, I have canceled a few things and probably have lost potential friendships because of that. Like, I'd be like, yeah, I'm totally into going to the beach, and literally an hour before we are supposed to meet, I'm like, oh, I'm sick. I don't go into detail, I just say I'm sick. And it's the waiting part, and then I tend to be slower. I notice I'm not like excited to go and just get it over with. I'm stalling a lot because I'm trying to avoid the thing I'm afraid of, which is being outside or socializing. So yeah, I discussed this in my very first anxiety vlog. Not the very first since I've opened this channel, but the very first of this series particularly. So I tend to be flaky, or I tend to be late, and I tend to, when I get ready, be kind of slow. Not as slow as the partner that Senpai mentioned in his story, I don't think, but I tend to be slow because of the anxiety. It's a little bit opposite of what Senpai is experiencing when he's trying to get out the door as quickly as possible so he doesn't have to deal with anxiety. Also, the thing that slows me down is being worried about my appearance. As I said, been bullied in high school. I remember we have like this one day a week thing where we could wear a t-shirt and jeans, and I remember that the boys were making fun of me one week because I wore the same exact pair of jeans that I wore last week, and they noticed that and they thought it was so hilarious, and they were making fun of me because of that. And I honestly did not even remember myself what I was wearing last week. I mean, I have more than one pair of jeans, but then they were clean at the time, so that's what I wore. And I'm like, jeans all look the same to me, and then it's just so weird that they notice those tiny little details that I don't even notice as a girl, and they are guys and they did, and it just made me even more self-conscious. So that's why for me, um, it takes me longer to get ready, because I'm like analyzing everything, like, does everything look okay? Does everything, um, do you think, do I think that no one's gonna pick up on something that they can make fun of? But yeah, I mean, I can't really transplant my face unless I have plastic surgery, which I'm still quite interested in, by the way. But yeah, I mean, everything else, I tend to be quite obsessive, I guess, in a way, but but yeah, that's that contributes to my anticipatory anxiety. But I am concerned about, when I get ready, it's I feel a little bit even more anxious, because I know you have anxiety as well, senpai, and I I don't want to contribute to it, and there are times when I feel like I do because of my own anxiety, and I hope like I'm not feeding off you when I'm taking my time sometimes when getting ready. I do try to rush, but at the same time I need to do things that ease my own anxiety as well. I don't know if you've personally experienced this, senpai, but when I'm anxious or feeling panic, time feels slow and fast at the same time. Like your body feels stuck, but everything's maybe going really fast, or maybe your mind is very rapid, but everything around you is going slow. I don't know if it's me or if you've experienced it as well. It's related to time, as you were focusing on your video. And another thing that Senpai pointed out is being selfish. And I've been trying my best to put myself first, and sometimes I don't, which breeds resentment, which the only person I can really blame for that is myself, because I didn't put myself first at that situation. Like, I hold myself back a lot. Like, sometimes I want to get myself things, but I think um, I shouldn't. Like, especially before we met, I saved up quite a bit of money, and um, by myself. I never really put myself first, and um, I think a lot of it is because I fear I might lose people in my life if I behave in a certain way where I put myself first. So it's more familiar to be so generous, even though there's a part of me that doesn't like it at all and is really bitter and really resentful. And I used to do this whole alarm thing to remind myself, what would someone who loves themselves do? And it's a really hard question to ask most of the time. And I know the very fact that I'm breathing and um, not doing anything is still a choice. So, but then a lot of the times I would have something I would want to do, but like, oh, that's not gonna be approved. So I couldn't really be honest with myself, so I couldn't um, continue with that. The last therapist I saw, um, she didn't outright say it, but she suggested that the relationship I was having with senpai was not good for me at all, and I didn't even want to question that. I didn't even want to think about that, because that was like the one thing that was holding me together, and I was really afraid of accepting that, of making that making that potentially a reality, that my life would be better if I didn't have senpai in it. And I guess maybe that's part of the reason why I'm scared to go see a therapist, because I'm afraid to see or experience or think about truths that might hurt my ego, something that I'm not comfortable talking about, something I'm not comfortable being accounted for. I think this is where I can end this video now. Oh, so I have been Bunny, and I'm gonna try to put myself back together again in a bit. Bye.